Welcome back to Burn to Notice, the series that analyzes Michael Weston and his team. If you're new to the series, there's a playlist to catch you up linked down below. This episode starts just as the other one ended, Fee in trouble, Sam captured, and just when Mike was going to learn something new about the burn notice, his contact gets shot. Now Mike has to rescue Fee in order to save Sam. This starts with Mike and Nate arguing about usefulness as they make it to Fee's location, where Fee leaves a marker so Mike can find her, and he uses the truck to smash the warehouse. Luckily, Fee doesn't get hurt. This is when Nate covers the doorway they just created, all while Mike and Fee build a bomb, and Mike talks about how he uses a slow truck to trap the bad guys. Meanwhile, Mike, Fee, and Nate escape. Unfortunately, the people who burned Mike know where he lives, so they have to set up shop in a foreclosure. This is where Mike promptly gets Nate to pick up Maddie, and Mike is keen on Nate not being followed when...
I know how to lose a tail. All right, I hate to break it to you, but spies aren't the only people with enemies.
Next, we see Sam being beat up by a muscular man as he is being questioned. This is where we meet Herrick, the brains of the operation. However, Sam doesn't fold under interrogation and even tries to accuse one of Herrick's men for being a double agent, but it doesn't work. We also learn that the guys are ex-Green Berets. They also threaten Jillian from the last episode, and spoiler alert, we never see her again. Back at the safe house, Mike and Fee gear up to siege the Green Berets when Mike gets a call from them. And thinking on his feet, he comes up with a cover ID basically on the spot where he's posing as competition and asks for proof of life, which Sam uses to communicate to Mike, who then has to go to a storage facility to find a picture fitting the pose. They find the picture and figure Sam is trying to warn them to stay away. This is probably the most interesting way to communicate without words. This is when Nate returns with Maddie, who is very upset she has to leave her house, with Mike trying to explain.
Who is it? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. Covert intelligence agencies don't call you up and tell you why they're hunting you.
Then Mike forces the team that shot Cowan to reveal themselves by calling his old handler, which is the last time he is referenced in this series. As Mike and Fee watch a decoy team, they observe the real team and almost get picked up by them, and Mike gets away. And really, this show wants me to believe that Mike can outrun a car, really, but Mike shakes them by stranding a motorist. Back at the safe house, Herrick calls Mike to pressure Mike into meeting. However, Mike stalls them. Sam is confronted with Herrick and tries to get them to kill him, basically in order to keep Mike away from this situation. However, they don't bite on this. Next, Mike meets with Barry, and Mike is a lot more forceful in this interaction than he normally is with Barry, scaring him, which puts a weird wedge in their relationship that we see in the next season. Barry helps Mike get in touch with Carmello, a hotshot heroin dealer. This is when Barry gets a call for Mike, and this is the first time we hear Carla's voice. But Mike blows her off and ditches the phone in the water. Next, Mike makes small explosives wired to a detonator when Maddie interrupts, and Mike forces her and Nate to leave town before the bullets start flying. This is when we see Carmello in a club that Mike has rigged to blow on a dead man switch in order to get intel where the Green Berets are. And during their meeting, Mike does a great job at threatening Carmello.
If you don't do what I want, I will rain hell down upon you until one of us is dead, and I am really, really good at raining down hell.
Also, he doesn't use a cover ID.
Who are you?
I'm Michael Weston. I used to be a spy.
Carmello reveals the location of the heroin dealer, and Mike and Fee scout the location, also setting a meet in order to lower the manpower on the boat when he infiltrates it, which is very ingenious. Sam also tries to get killed again, but fails again. Mike and Fee also build a sticky bomb for their infiltration, and as they're about to leave, Maddie reveals a few times where Mike rejected the rules and laws, and we get a little bit of backstory of Mike and Nate. Then Mike tries to drop Maddie and Nate off in Fort Lauderdale. That is until Mike realizes that they are being followed, where Mike plays the second game of chicken in this episode, threatening to shoot himself when Carla calls and he gets some time to save Sam. Next, Mike takes the Cadillac in order to save Sam, and we get the trope of Mike and Fee having their final kiss. That happens most seasons, especially during the finale. However, on the boat, Herrick sends his men to meet with Fee and Mike as they set up at the docks. Fee as the marksman and Mike as the infiltrator. And while Mike is going through the water, not a single one of Herrick's men notices the fact that there is a bunch of bubbles floating up to the top, and no one sees that as suspicious. Also, Mike throws his grappling hook that makes a loud ding right as one of the Green Berets walks past. So he didn't hear that either. Alright, fine. It's a TV show. Anyway, Mike is able to set up beautifully as Mike leaves his phone in the hallway so that when Herrick calls, it distracts him. So Mike can get the drop on him. During the struggle, Fee covers Mike, and even Sam helps by slamming the door on Herrick's head. Mike shoots Herrick and leaves with Sam. And this scene is so funny to me. As Mike and Sam escape the boat, they both have completely different running styles. Mike is very tactical and precise, as Sam is flailing his hands over his head and looking like this is the first time he has ever ran in his entire life. But they do get away safely, and while debriefing in the caddy, Sam mentions to Mike about the OnStar, which could potentially be a shameless plug, but Mike gets instructions to go to a specific location, which is a tractor trailer that leads Mike into the next season. This episode was a great way to end the season, just the way I like spy thrillers to end, with more questions than answers. This season also did a good job of establishing the status quo of this series. Very much a learn a little bit about the burn notice, help people learn a little bit more about the burn notice. I also just wish that in this first season we would have seen more of Jason Bly. I feel like he would have been a more interesting character if he would have stayed longer. But in this next season we're going to get Carla and some other interesting characters that will be presented later on in the season. Thank you for watching. If you're curious about an FBI team that uses psychology and sociology to solve murders, check out my other series, Inside Criminal Minds. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe.